So the first boss in the Great Gubal Library is this big book, and a lot of folks aren't sure what to do here, especially during the ice part, but we're going to go through this together. So we start out this fight pretty simply. We just pull aggro, and that's it. Everyone just starts to wail away at the boss. The first thing that we're going to do is dodge, and the dodging comes kind of like a Tetris piece, the Z Tetris piece. You have to move like from one side, and then you'll get hit with the AoE, and then you have to move out of the AoE, and then you have to move back this way. So that's kind of the dodging that you do here. So let's see if I get hit with the AoE. So move, and then up, and then over. That's how you do the dodging in this particular fight. When he casts Repel, he's going to shove everybody back, and then the book is going to close. Once the book closes, we can then proceed to the other side of the book, which is what we're going to do now. And then the book will open, and if you're standing close to it, you will get swept back away like that. You see how I stood back here, and I didn't get hit by that? So now we're going to do that exact same thing. We're going to do some dodging first. Up, over, and that gets dodged. But now the floor is going to turn into ice. So at this point, it's really easy because there is no dodging that we need to do. We just need to stand here and continue to DPS. But he's going to cast Repel. Maybe he'll do it. I don't know. I'm going to stop DPSing here so we can possibly see it. So up, over, and then I think, yep. So here's Repel, frozen. So I'm going to unselect him. I'm going to just click on myself to unselect him. I'm going to stand on the side, and I'm going to look forward. When I do that, the book is going to shut, and I'm going to press tap forward. Tap it.
Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
1, 2. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just tap forward twice, and you will be on the other side of the book. That's all this boss is. It's a recycle bin from that point. But the trick is to stand on the side, click on yourself so you're not targeting the boss. Because if you're targeting the boss, you'll like slide this way, and then you'll run into the book. So that's how you defeat the first boss in the Great Gubal Library. The second boss in the Great Gubal Library is this big dude here, this Minotaur-looking guy. And he is pretty straightforward as well, but he does have one mechanic that we do need to talk about because a lot of people don't know what to do when it happens. So we start out this fight like any other fight. The tank's going to pull aggro, turn the boss around. Everyone's going to start to DPS. This head down thing, there's nothing you can really do to avoid it. We just DPS'd him down fast enough where we didn't have to worry about it. But all he does is he attacks somebody and then you just heal them. That's it. So he's going to stand here and become invulnerable, and then these books are going to fall on the ground. Once the book dies, whoever killed it is going to have this white ball that is attached to them, and this is what you're supposed to do. The ball is going to follow you, and you're supposed to drag the ball through the boss. This way it knocks him off of the book, and he becomes vulnerable again. That's how you do the mechanic. These green things, I call them fart bombs. Just stand away from them. That's all you have to do. Just don't stand near them. And just continue to do it. That's the only mechanic you have to do in this boss are the white balls. Just make sure that you drag them through the boss so he gets knocked off of the book. We will see it one more time. So as you can see here, he jumps into the middle, throws some books in the air like it's Friday, I'm out of here. And we have to kill the pages that spawn, and then the white ball will connect to someone, and then that person is supposed to drag the ball through the boss to knock him off of the book, just like that. That is what is supposed to happen, and that is how you kill the second boss in the Great Gubal Library. And as we approach the final boss in the Great Gubal Library, I wanted to take a moment to chat a little bit about why this boss is so important. Up until this point in the game, every boss that you have fought has pretty much been tank and spank-ish. There's been a couple of bosses where it's like, okay, you need to kill the wings first or hide behind this rock, whatever. Like, if you screw up the mechanic, it's generally okay. You'll just get healed through it, and it's not a big deal. The Great Gubal Library's final boss is the first boss in the game, in my opinion, that actually has mechanics that you have to do correctly, and if you don't do them correctly as any role, you can wipe the party. So this is like the first real boss in the game, and even though the mechanics are simple, we're still going to go through them. There are two mechanics that this boss will do. They are called sparks and lights. Both mechanics have to do with these brown pads that you see here. You can see there's one here, there's one here. The first mechanic is sparks. You'll get targeted with a red arrow, and when you do, he's going to hit you with this void spark. Where you want to put that spark is on the perimeter of the circle, in between the pads. That's the safest place for it. After the spark drops, what you want to do is move away from it because it does massive AoE damage. After you've dropped your spark in the safe place, the next mechanic will be lights. The lights are the purple circles inside the brown pad. So here again, we're going to drop this and we're going to put it here. This is the safest spot for it. This person just made a mistake and dropped it in our play area. So now no one can go here or through here. And the next mechanic is lights. This is where everybody in the party, including the tank, has to match the number of players to the number of lights that are on the ground. So that's exactly what's supposed to happen. We have 2 players that go over there and hit those 2 lights, 2 players that go over here and hit these 2 lights. So that's what you also saw in the first round. It's just actually really easy because it's just 1 light per pad. And all you have to do is just touch the pad and then move away. After you have satisfied the requirement of number of players to the number of lights, you can then feel free to step off of the pad. As you can see, everyone is going to the correct spots. We move away from the spark once it is dropped, and now we have 3 lights, 3 players. So now this will require a little bit of coordination, and don't be afraid to use your sprint button here. I'm going to do that. We hit that, and now I'm going to go around the spark. I'm going to sprint, and we're going to come here. 1, 2, 3 lights, and that's it. That's how you do this boss. That's the correct way to do this boss. That could not have gone any smoother. You can sprint during that last part, and it's fine. I actually save sprint for that in case you have to go from one side to the other. But all of the players have to participate in that light mechanic because even the tank has to disengage and go onto the lights. We really haven't seen many bosses at this point where the tank has to actually participate. Usually, mechanics will skip the tank, right? But in this case, they don't. So to recap, sparks. You will get targeted with a red arrow. Stand in between the pads on the perimeter. This is a safe spot. This is a safe spot. This is a safe spot, etc. After you've been hit with the void spark, move away from it because it will deal damage. The second mechanic is lights. That has to deal with the purple circles that are here in the brown pads. You have to match the number of players to the number of lights that are illuminated. That is how you deal with those 2 mechanics. Don't be afraid to use your sprint button if you need to move from one side of the battle arena to the other in order to match those lights. If you fail on the lights, an ad will spawn. That's all you have to do, and then you can just burn down the ad and then go back onto the boss, or you can big dick the boss, whatever you want to do. But that's the penalty for doing that incorrectly. Alright, that is going to do it for the Great Gubal Library. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful and useful. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I tried my best to be as informative as possible. Maybe there's another video on the channel that will be better for you. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!